yesterday. So yesterday we had the grass being done, and today is the next day. And what do we have outside my door? And the neighbour went just down the back in the car, but I missed that, and said hello to them, which is interesting. So we should just... We have the usual orange officer. This is what we have around here. Is there any point? The orange vehicle doing the usual pulling in front, the man going into the house, a vacant house opposite. Fake, staged, artificial. Grass to cut there. There is no grass to cut. Look, they're just so obvious right in front of me. Look. These are not real people at all. These are like an army. Can't believe I'm filming this. I must be out of my mind. But I'm out of my mind to be filming these. I am out of my mind. I am out of my mind to be filming these out of their minds androids. They did the grass yesterday. I filmed it and put the video out, I'm pretty sure, but I should put dates on these things, just showing that how ridiculous and how unreal this situation is. Everyone around, all the neighbours, all in collaboration, everyone on the street, everyone in Leichhardt, all these workmen doing what you can see for yourself is ridiculously unnecessary, noisy work. It is just, and it's outside my door, I showed that. Always outside my door. I'll just show you once more. They did the same thing yesterday. If this was real, why would they come back the second day? As you can see, there was no grass for them. There was no grass there because they were here yesterday. They demolished all my front. They took all the greenery in the front here, in the front of the place, you know. And the orange big machine came out as you saw as usual in front. And they were doing it in the park. I've just come home. So normally I would be too tired to get the mobile out, and they know that, but the park down the corner, they were doing the same thing as I went past with all the machinery, and the day before. So this is, you know, figure it out yourself. It's not real work. Okay, so some things are being built and some things are done, but as you can see, that's just like a control system, really. You know, and they'll come back as soon as I turn the mobile, but there's nothing there, and they were here yesterday. So in what reality would you have them doing all this, you know, free work? But see, it looks like work, but it just wouldn't happen. And in fact, in most areas in Sydney in the past, they just wouldn't come and do outside grass, whereas they're coming every day around where I am, and you can hear how noisy that was. I have to fold up once I'm just making a short video to show this systematic artificial reality that's around real people. That's a plane going over too, and the planes have been following me literally around, even though I've only went a few blocks from my house. You know, and quite low, and only always crossing over your head. Now some people would say, well, that's the flight plan, but why is the flight plan or the flight path always over my head? You know, that's really all I can say. But he's been up and down this street because it was already done when I walked, because I walked on the other side coming back. So it's actually repeated, and here's the orange thing coming out in front of me for the second time. Just patrolling, and I mean, they're doing real work, but when he comes out in front like that, that is just showing, you know, its patrol system. But this ridiculous activity going on around my place every day of the week, apart from Sundays when they're not allowed to do any maintenance. But then, of course, you can have the local people with their pretend activities that they do, you know, that make noise. It just depends on how they will gauge how they can bring you down with their noise, sight and sound patrol system. Why do they have to make so much noise, all these vehicles too? Just doing lawn and stuff, like and these wind blowers that make noise that you can hear 2 blocks away. It's just not necessary to make all that noise, even if they were doing real work. But even this work is unnecessarily unreal, as I just pointed out. You don't come and do grass 2 days in a row, the same grass, you know. That is just, you know, these are not real workmen. They are, you know, part of this. It's an army control system around real humans. But it's disguised as legitimate workmen. But, you know, if they showed their true colours, they would be like, almost like police or army or whatever. But they are serving a different purpose. Their purpose is to separate and control real life, so they control their whole reality. And if you looked at it from a religious standpoint and you don't buy into this frequency vibration thing, if you don't, you would have to say that they are just targeting a certain type of human being, as they have persecuted and done for a long time. That's from a religious standpoint. But it doesn't matter, because there's a practical, there's a belief system. It's all what they believe in. They are following in the footsteps of the God that rules this reality, or that they worship and they believe in. Whether it just be in that mindset, or whether they actually bow down and literally worship. But, you know, I can't speak for that. It'd be a bit like saying that you could be like you may not be, say, a believer in, you know, like the particular religions of the world. You know, you may not be a particular believer. Look at the big truck coming down. Look at that big truck down this small dead-end street. Will he double back round? Yesterday, when I filmed the car and said it will double back and come back down the street because it's a patrol car, I'd already turned the mobile off, but as soon as I turned the mobile off, that same car did double back round. This is just basically, because don't forget, they know what you're doing, they know what you're going to do, so they don't have to show anything. But they probably don't care, because they're like, she's not showing it to anyone, and most people would think it was silly. They just say, well, she just happens to live on the noisiest, busiest little side back street in Sydney. You know, and they just happen to be pulling down every house and always doing major construction, and they just are fanatical. They're just, you know, they're just fanatically serving this one little dead-end street, to where the maintenance is unbelievably great, because they come and do grass every day of the week, and they, you know, and they do all these things that other suburbs probably don't get. And other streets don't get, but the streets get it. Or where she goes, down the park, where it used to be quiet and very little maintenance, because it's not really necessary to, you know, it's just grass and a few trees. And, you know, now, you know, like you have, say 10 people working in there. In the past, you had one man that came there you know, in the morning and didn't even stay there all day, had to go and do other stuff. I know because I used to know him and speak to him, and that went on, and he was old. Now you've got these young workmen with their uniform on, more or less. When I say uniform, I mean like a work uniform, but it's a uniform. It's part of this inner West, which is like about 120, 130,000 people, but that's not allowing for the workmen and those that are not living here. That's just the living numbers that you can check on the internet. That doesn't apply to all these work people. They don't even live here. So you've got astronomical numbers, even though it looks in a small area. Why? Literally following and surrounding a few individual human beings because they are different to them, whether this be based on some sort of mindset that is different, because it is different, but that's another thing. But some people might say it's different blood, a different species. It's all the same thing, really. It's just that we don't understand these things. We have to ask why. See, the truck has now doubled back round. Point taken. Went down to the end, waited there a bit, and then come back down. That's just a patrol big truck. Okay. Anyway, I'm closing it off because I'm tired.